Good afternoon, everyone. Virgo here. It is April 6, 2020, and here we go with Crazy Train Monday. This collection of Crazy Train comments is from the last 3 or 4 days. I've been holding off to do them all at once because I wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to see them before I block them, because the majority of these are just ugly. They also are completely inaccurate. So Kyle Anderson has made a statement on my top 10 video from 2018 where I warn people about filing false UCC-1s, such as the UCC documentation that is sold by April or June, and many others, including, by the way, Winston Shrout, and, oh yeah, he's in prison right now. Kyle Anderson says, "You suck, and you hate freedom. You can only discharge debt. The dollar cannot discharge debt. How then do you expect men and women to pay with? Dollar bills are not money. You are a troll." Well, we all know you can't troll your own channel, so that is projecting if I ever heard it. And in addition to that, you can't discharge debt the way that you think you can through filing a UCC-1. It simply doesn't work, and it's considered frivolous, fraudulent, and it's just plain illegal. The dollar cannot discharge debt. That's not true. When you file bankruptcy and you discharge all your debt, it's the American taxpayer and their dollar that has discharged your debt for you. How do I expect men and women to pay with? That doesn't even make logical sense, but the truth is, what you're getting at is a bunch of BS. You cannot claim that gold or silver is any kind of actual currency, because it isn't. As a matter of fact, you couldn't take a gold coin and pay for anything with it. The dollar is backed by investments, and then it is also backed by federal land. So your idea about the fact that supposedly the dollar isn't valued at anything, you're wrong about that too. But I'm not surprised, because after all, you suck, and clearly you hate freedom. Anybody that you give this advice to is going to jail, chances are. So, there's that. Alright, next. Oh look, it's Kyle Anderson again. Kyle must really like me. So on the same video, of course, the UCC-1, and this is part of the number 7 of the top 10 from 2018, we have this. "So funny that your video is meant to debunk, but it serves to validate. Well done. Many men and women give this information away for free. Read the definition in the UCC code for conspicuous language. The people you seek to defend..." Am I defending anybody? I don't defend people on this channel. All I do is expose and debunk people that are con artists like you, Kyle. But I digress. The people you seek to defend have defrauded the public. The person is a civil invention. The man or woman is created by the living God. You are on the wrong side of this argument, though I appreciate your clarification for those with ears to hear. Kyle, you're a jackass. Have a nice day. Next we have Jody Byers, who left the specific comment on, "If you tried to access TDA, you need to see this." That video actually goes over the IRS document that comes to you the first time you try to file an A for V. That document tells you that if you file fake paperwork again through the Treasury, that they're going to start fining you $5,000 per piece of paper that you send to them. Jody states in one of the comments that "I'm not going to argue with you, Virgo," but then goes on to leave 12 more. I guess, I don't know. By my count, that's a lot more comments. Okay, Jody says, "Really, I feel like what's going on right now is the foreclosure on this country, that we have defaulted and our assets are being seized. I feel like the Treasury is being emptied as we speak. and the Federal Reserve is calling in on the note. They are about to shut down the currency markets and go digital currency, and it's probably about to happen here in the next few days. I fear that we the people, have failed in our obligation to be vigilant of our efforts to preserve freedom, and we have not, and we have been usurped. The next domino to fall is going to be the suspension of the Constitution and the declaration of martial law. We haven't seen nothing yet. Large capacity containment and housing facilities are being prepped behind the scenes actively right now. That's why we aren't seeing the Homeland, FEMA, and other personnel. They are getting the facilities ready. FEMA camps that everyone said didn't exist. And the instrument that is making it possible is the engineered weapon that was engineered from SARS, HIV, and the new one. A biological weapon patented, made, due to what it is doing. To do what it is doing. This is biblical without fail, exactly as all the end-time prophecies said in exactly when they say. I'm hesitant to even respond to this one because honestly, we're so all over the place here. But let me just correct you on one very small area here. One that might make all the difference, and that is patented and made. What you're referring to, there's already 2 videos about, and those specific things have to do with vaccines to help people, not hurt them. And by the way, it's pretty much the #1 regulation that is in the patent office, that you cannot patent anything made by nature. And by the way, there are so many different strains of this specific illness. There are so many different strains of that virus. There's animal ones, there's people ones, and all of those have vaccines. It's extremely easy to tell the difference because there are specifics in the patent office that you can look up. What you really need to do is stop watching really scary conspiracy YouTube videos, because you're not really making any sense right now. Pretty much everything that you've said either has proof that says the opposite of what you're claiming, or there's no basis in factual evidence of any of it. I know. I've been looking for it ever since you sent your first comment over a week ago. Next, we have, look at that, it's Jody Byers. And it's on the same exact video. So this person has a real problem with me making the claim that the A for V is not something that's real. That this letter is real and is something that will come out from the Treasury in the event that you try to discharge your debt via accepted for value. We all know that it's true because there are a ton of people on this channel that are subscribers that purchased April LeJeune's package and ended up getting fined. We even have someone who filed their documentation and actually ended up going to jail for 4 months. But Jody doesn't care. Jody says, let examine this. There we go. This is fraud, which really voids the good faith of the using creditor, the Federal Reserve. If an institution dopes not remain in good standing and standing by not honoring its obligations, then voids all obligations. If they won't honor their agreement with one, then there is no guarantee they will honor anyone else's. Seriously. So no one is obligated to have faith in their contracts with the organization. So no one could be held to any contract made with the institution in bad faith. So what's our deficit now? In the unrepayable trillions, which as it stands is an owed debt to which we the people are the collateral for. Our bodies, the tangible property, the trading, the bonds, the accounts, our attempt to offset this liability. Remember, we are bankrupt. We cannot spend any gold, and currency is not redeemable for value of exchange. The government is a corporation and has been for decades, and are acting as agents, as agents for the bankruptcy court, and there are rules involved in bankruptcy having to do with the obligation of the company to the employee that are involved with the settlement of the bankruptcy. That's the HR 192 is all about, really. So to understand HJR 192, you got to understand contract commerce and bankruptcy law and know of its being honored because no one understands it and how to enforce it. I mean, I kind of understand it and I can follow along, but there is a big difference from that to be assertive enough to administrate the process. But this is where it sits, and people are really trying to find the truth and get to the bottom of this and real. The more people really involved, the better things would be. I want you and everyone to know that I am just sharing what I know as truthful as I can for the sake of community and preservation of freedom. I am so sorry, but if you're looking for truth and actual freedom, you are going down the wrong rabbit hole, because everything you just spewed is all sob-sit mumbo jumbo, and the majority of it isn't even true. You need to take a look at HJR 192 videos on this channel. There's almost 700 videos on this channel for you to take a look at, and it will actually teach you what HJR 192 was really all about. It will actually show you proof of what your claims are right here, being misinformed, we'll say. Next we have Jody Byers on the same account, on the same video. Jody here says, so that there is a real account that makes the issue real simple. There are accounts in your name of which you are a holder of the certificate. Certificates are redeemable. Since you haven't been told about this, they have been profiting by trading your assets, acting as your representative. The money made always stays with the bond. All trading on the bond is kept track of by the bond CUSIP number and the investing institution's DUNS number. To prevent this trading and transaction being fraud to you, they place your share of the proceeds from trading the security into an account with your name on it. They do not have to tell you anything by law, so you have an account. But the institution holding the account has never spoken to you. You didn't start the account, so your credentials are not on file with the account, but you have been issued the securities ticket R bond for the account. The bond is backed by the value of the account, and you have been issued the account name and number it's in. Why do you think you signed the social? I is not your property. And it says right there, it is not to be used for ID purposes. It's placing your signature to that account so that it makes everything you sign an instrument that can be negotiated for its value. This is how banking is done, people, and I'm an idiot at this. Yes, you are. So what we are dealing with is figuring out how to gain administrative rights and ownership to our accounts. which would normally be as easy as going to the financial institution and providing them with your credentials, and bam, you're on the account and you are able to access the funds and credit and are issued drafts / checks and debit / credit cards as you would in any other account anywhere else. So what's the issue? Let's go right. We people have been trying. We have tried every way that's been come up with. Some have done risky things and taken chances and have paid the price for doing criminal things. There you go. You said it. Criminal things. But all this is just proof of the fact that there is fraud taking place against us. And it's being done on purpose. And the only reason to withhold you from it is with the intent to take it as well, which is a future intent to steal from you again. That is criminal and conspiracy. It's crime, damages. They are literally breaking every law there is in the exact same way they have put people away for. If they want to show the books and prove it, then we'd have to shut up, and they could quite clearly show everybody that it's all bullshit once and for all, and they will never do it because they can't. This is about justice and truth. Let me give you some justice and truth here. Okay, sweetie? So here you go with some actual truth first. Number one, there's a thing called the budget, okay? The national budget. Look it up. It's all transparent. You know what that means? That means that you yourself can actually take a look at what's going on in the national budget yourself. Number two, if you truly believe that you are being traded on the stock market, prove it. Why don't you go ahead and post your ticker symbol for us? Because in order to be on the stock market, you have to have one. All right, who do we have next? We have Jody Byers on the exact same video. This video really upset Jody, and clearly Jody doesn't really understand who she's talking to either. Number one, she believes that I'm trying to stick up for somebody, which I'm not. All I do is expose fraud and con artists, which is why Jody's upset, because clearly Jody's been down this rabbit hole a long time, and I want to guess that the person that put her there is probably someone we all know and I have exposed many, many times before. Here we go. Jody has now decided that she is going to rage. And don't tell me the accounts aren't real. I paid off 3 things from my credit report using them. Debt were paid. The claims were taken off my report. Like I said, that was going on 3 years ago, and they are still paid. I haven't heard from anyone in any way, in any capacity. No FBI, no Treasury, nobody. And there is no reason for me to either. I used my account to pay my debt, which is the exact purpose. The banks and transaction entities do not have systems set up for non-existent accounts. That you are able to complete transactions through. The accounts that were paid weren't paid through accounts that were made up. UIP. Made UIP. Payment could never occur if it was just a random account number, especially when you consider the bank routing number is also there. So it's a specific account at the specific institution anyway. Without question, the only way we will ever get the truth is to expose it. The more we work together and lean, L-E-A-N, and the better. Jody, you need to see my video on the way the automatic clearinghouse actually works, and you will understand the reason why your credit report thought that you had paid those debts off. You will also understand that you do not understand that debts are not being paid. They're being reversed. Or they were being reversed back in 2017. So even if you think that you actually did something because your credit report claims that you did, that just means that the original creditors didn't actually go back and correct your credit report. Or it could mean you're simply not telling the truth at all. Because if you actually did something like this and tried to do it by accepted for value, which, by the way, does not exist at all. Not at all. That's not even disputed by the majority of the sodsits that are pushing this claim. They've had to drop that supposed argument because it doesn't exist. There are still a few that try to make us think that for some reason it might, but the majority don't even talk about it anymore. Not to mention the fact that there have now been several people that everybody knows about, from Winston Shrout to Heather Ann Tucci to Randall Keith Bean, that have gone to prison because of exactly what you're claiming to have done. There is nothing to save here, Jody. Nothing to save. And there's nothing to work together on that pertains to accepted for value, because these accounts aren't real. All right, let's go. We've got another one from Jody Byers. The truth is, we have been frauded. I think you mean defrauded, but that's okay. Like you said, you're not very good at this. And it's very provable. I'll tell you what. I'm not even going to go any further with this, because the best thing I can tell you to do is prove it. Jody says that the bond CUSIP number, when it wouldn't be, it would actually be the ticker symbol that has anything to do with anybody being able to use anything on the stock market. And when you ask for it, suddenly everything goes away, because all it takes is to get that in the record one time and the jig is up. You are the fraud victim, and trust me, they know what's up. That's why they have to hide this. I make no secret about what I know, and have her no issue in making this argument, because I know, period. And it's all very real, and they nothing to do at all with what I think or believe. This is just brief layout of the situation. There is way more to this, and you can get there, but you got to get involved and find out for yourself. Oh, is that kind of like do your own research? You are something else, Jody. Let's talk about the fact that you know what you know, except for what you don't know. This is all a scam. And Jody, I have a feeling you know that. But regardless, as I said, I just will step back from this. Because what you actually know is just simply something you believe. And faith is not proof. Next, we have House of A. On the UCC filers looking at criminal prosecution video that I did yet again over a year and a half ago. This is actually part of some of the record from I can't remember what the name of the magazine was, but anyway, it goes to every single state's UCC. Each UCC from each state has one. Contrary to popular belief, the UCC is not federal, it is state, and each UCC has different regulations. So here we go with House of Bay. I wonder what group they belong to. And they say, "You're the dumbest bitch I've ever heard." Well, that was productive and proactive there for you. I hope you feel better now. Have a good day. All right, here we go. Jody could not take it and had to come back again. "I used my account and I paid thing off my credit report. They were paid and I haven't been contacted by anyone." Here we go again. Virgo Triad. I know what I did. I only shared this to show that there is more to this than is out there. Let's be clear. This is one of the most complex thing I have ever seen. Truthfully, Jody, what is the most complex thing is actually not this. Let me share with you what my belief structure is on this. The problem is the reason that you have fallen for this BS and the reason you have slipped so far down the rabbit hole, no one with a long branch can reach you, is because you don't understand each individual system that is connected to this scam. If you did, for example, if you would watch my video on how the automatic clearinghouse works, and you would watch my video on how an UCC filing really is supposed to work, if you would watch any number of the almost 700 videos that are on this channel pertaining to this subject, instead of just one that you continue to go back and forth on in order to leave your nonsense comments, you would see that it actually does all fit together. And not only does it fit together, but it actually fits together in such a way that you see the error of these comments you're making. For example, you made a comment that the United States is a corporation in a previous comment that I just got through reading. Well, that's not true, because if the United States was a corporation, there would be no way that you can actually file a corporation within the United States. Not foreign and not domestic. And as you, I'm sure, know, all foreign entities want to be incorporated in the United States. Think about that for a moment. You can't incorporate something under something that doesn't exist. Your thoughts and your training here is, I'm sure, something that you just want to get out there in order to make people believe this junk. But it's a little late for that because, see, we've covered so much of this and have seen so many people get scammed and conned out of loads of money since 2017 that the jig is up already. None of this is real. It's a 40-year-old scam that was pushed starting back, way back, in the 80s by a man named Roger Elvick. And yeah, all that information and proof is on this channel too. All you have to do is your research. Alright, Jody, I'm about through with you, but you've got a couple more on here. Let me also add this, she says. Way back when this was just getting out there, like, I guess she's talking about 2 years ago, but this has actually been out there for a very long time, and it's been a scam all the way back since then. Many people have gone to prison over it, still are, and still will. It actually looks like you're trying to head up the line here. So people propose that this creates a servitude condition. The whole sovereign thing is about the political arena one is subjected to according to the capacity they are operating in. Alright, I'm done. This video is already 28 minutes long. Jody, you have to go. I'm so sorry. Oh, look, there's even more. This isn't hard to get, but yet a few moments ago, it was one of the most complex things to try to maneuver through. Jody, you need some mental health help. I'm not kidding. And finally, we have Gypsy, which this is on the video where I did about all capital letters and the machine that was used back in the 70s that had no shift key. And this person thinks they're cute. Okay, Gypsy Orleans. That's wonderful news. You and your friend, many people, found nothing. Mystery solved. Good to know. We can now choose to not think. Then there's you to believe. Thanks for your intel. You seem very delightful, expressing such kind words of clarity. By the way, the bank was Americans First Credit Union, AFCU, Universal Routing, if you look it up, and your social security number as the account. But like you said, sure, was just a coincidence. Okay, so as you can see, there are multiple statements and sock puppet accounts in here of one person who originally wasn't going to argue with me, but without me even being here to make any statements with regards to these, this individual has continued to assume that they've been blocked, so they're making sock puppet accounts as they go because they actually think they're telling me off. I'm sorry, Cupcake. Yet again, another thing you have done without the education to be able to do it, to put it nicely. All right, everyone, I'm sorry this one was so long. You guys have a good afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.